Just past midnight in Manila, the city was suddenly illuminated by the glow of breaking news alerts. Urgent headlines flashed across television screens and mobile devices, jolting many Filipinos awake or stopping them in their tracks. The air was thick with anticipation as the nation braced for what was coming next. The headline was impossible to ignore. Philippines doubles down, more US missiles despite China's fury. It was a message that reverberated through every corner of the capital. Across the city, people gathered in living rooms, crowded around televisions in public spaces, and paused at electronics shops to watch anchors describe the latest American missile deployments. The sense of urgency was palpable, as if the entire city was holding its breath. The mood was tense, uncertain. Conversations grew hushed, and anxious faces reflected the gravity of the moment. No one knew exactly what would happen next, but everyone understood the stakes were high. On social media, hashtags like missile defense and South China Sea exploded in popularity, trending instantly as Filipinos shared their hopes, fears, and opinions. The digital world buzzed with speculation and debate, amplifying the tension on the streets. Some cheered the news as a sign of strength and renewed alliance, believing it would help protect the nation and assert its sovereignty in the region. But others worried about the risks, fearing that this bold move could escalate tensions and threaten the fragile peace in the region. In cafes and homes, uneasy discussions unfolded late into the night. Meanwhile, military vehicles moved quietly through the city's darkened streets, their presence a silent reminder of the seriousness of the situation and the government's readiness for any outcome. This was more than just another headline. It was a dramatic choice, a turning point that would shape the nation's future and its place in the world. The government had finalized a new agreement with Washington, officially allowing advanced U.S. missile systems to be stationed on Philippine soil. This historic deal marked a new era in defense cooperation between the two countries. The announcement was bold and sure to provoke a strong reaction from China. Filipino officials promised transparency, emphasizing that the decision was made with the nation's best interests in mind. They assured the public that these moves were for national security, not aggression, and urged unity in the face of uncertainty. The world was watching closely, waiting to see how the region would respond. The stage was set for the next chapter in Asia's power struggle, a chapter that would test alliances, challenge old rivalries, and determine the future balance of power in the region. The decision to host more U.S. missiles on Philippine soil was not made overnight. It was the result of months of careful planning, confidential discussions, and strategic assessments by both nations' defense teams. Leaders from both countries met repeatedly, weighing the risks and benefits, and discussing the region's growing threats, especially China's increasingly aggressive actions at sea, which have raised alarm across Southeast Asia. Throughout these meetings, the importance of the alliance was emphasized as absolutely vital for regional stability and mutual security. The U.S. made a clear and public promise to help defend Philippine territory, reassuring its partner that it would not stand alone in the face of external threats. Philippine officials in turn expressed growing confidence in U.S. support, stating that if conflict ever arose, they trusted the U.S. would stand by their side. The talks were open, candid, and serious, reflecting a deep commitment on both sides to strengthen their partnership and address shared security concerns. The new missile agreement now allows the U.S. to station advanced missile systems in key Philippine locations, enhancing the country's defensive capabilities and acting as a deterrent to potential aggressors. American and Filipino soldiers will train side by side on these new weapons, building trust, sharing expertise, and ensuring both forces are ready to respond together if needed. The agreement also includes robust intelligence sharing and emergency coordination, allowing both nations to respond quickly to any crisis or threat in the region. This renewed partnership sends a clear and unmistakable message to the world. Manila and Washington are united, standing together for peace and security. For the Philippines, it means greater protection for its people, its territory, and its sovereignty in an increasingly uncertain world. For the U.S., it's a stronger presence in a vital part of Asia, reinforcing its commitment to allies and maintaining stability in the Indo-Pacific. Both sides are now preparing for uncertain times ahead, conducting joint drills and ensuring their forces are ready for any scenario. The alliance is now more than just symbolic. With real capabilities and shared resolve, it stands as a powerful deterrent against those who would threaten peace in the region. The US-Philippines relationship is long, layered, and deeply intertwined, shaped by decades of shared history, cooperation, and at times, tension. It began over a century ago, when the Philippines became a US colony following the Spanish-American War. American influence touched nearly every aspect of Filipino society, from government and education to the military. After World War II, the Philippines gained independence in 1946, but the bond with America remained strong. The two nations continued to work closely, especially in military affairs, as the world entered the Cold War era. The Mutual Defense Treaty of 1951 formalized this partnership, promising that each country would come to the other's aid if attacked. This agreement became a cornerstone of regional security in Southeast Asia. For decades, the US maintained massive military bases in the Philippines. Clark Air Base and Subic Bay were among the largest outside the US, serving as strategic hubs during the Vietnam War and beyond. In the early 1990s, however, the Philippine government decided to assert greater sovereignty, asking the US to withdraw its forces and close the bases. This marked a turning point, as both nations adjusted to a new dynamic. The partnership cooled for a time, but the rapid rise of China and growing tensions in the South China Sea brought new urgency to the alliance. Disputed islands and maritime claims created fresh security challenges. In response, new agreements were signed, allowing US forces to return, not as permanent residents but rotating through Philippine bases for training and support, strengthening both nations' readiness. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, brought more troops, planes, and ships for joint exercises, disaster response, and rapid deployment, reflecting a modernized approach to defense. This long and evolving history sets the stage for today's renewed alliance, as both countries face new threats and opportunities together. Legal agreements like the Mutual Defense Treaty and EDCA remain in place, providing the legal and diplomatic foundation for new deployments, including advanced missile systems and surveillance technology. Trust built over decades is now being tested by shifting geopolitics, domestic debates, and the need for rapid adaptation. The stakes are higher than ever, with the South China Sea becoming a flashpoint for regional and global security. Both nations are investing in new technology, training and strategies, adapting to a rapidly changing security landscape, and preparing for future challenges. The alliance is being redefined for a new era, one that demands flexibility, innovation, and renewed commitment from both sides. Old ties, forged in war and peace, are proving their enduring value as both nations look to the future. In the end, the region's future, and perhaps the balance of power in Asia, may depend on the strength and resilience of the US-Philippines alliance. The new deployments are more than symbolic. They're cutting edge. The US is sending Patriot missile batteries and HIMARS rocket launchers. These systems can shoot down enemy missiles and strike targets over 300 kilometers away. They'll be placed at strategic locations like Luzon and Palawan, near disputed South China Sea areas. Early warning radars and anti-ship missiles are also included. This changes the regional balance, deterring hostile ships and planes. Surprise attacks become riskier. For the Philippines, it's a new layer of defense. American troops will train Filipinos to operate and maintain these systems. Over time, the goal is for the Philippine military to master the technology. The alliance grows stronger with each step. The region is watching closely. The answer to Manila's bold moves lies in the South China Sea. China claims almost all of it, but international law disagrees. The Philippines has its own claims, backed by a 2016 legal victory at The Hague. Recent confrontations have seen Chinese ships block and harass Philippine boats. Fishermen report being chased from traditional grounds. Collisions between Navy vessels have raised tensions. Many Filipinos see China's actions as bullying. The government insists it must defend its people and rights. Every standoff increases the risk of conflict. Stronger defenses, especially US missiles, are seen as essential. For many, the South China Sea is about sovereignty and survival. The missile agreement is Manila's answer to growing pressure. Philippine leaders face tough choices. Their military is no match for China's, making alliances crucial. By accepting more US missiles, Manila signals it's not alone. Any attack could trigger a joint response, raising the stakes for aggression. The hope is deterrence, visible, ready, and dangerous if provoked. This could help keep the peace, but risks remain. China could retaliate economically or through cyber attacks. Some worry about being caught in a US-China rivalry. For now, security concerns outweigh other fears. The government believes US-backed defense is the best way to survive. The stakes are high in this dangerous neighborhood. China has responded with strong words, calling US missile deployments provocative. Beijing argues more weapons will worsen tensions, not ease them. Chinese media warn Manila is inviting disaster by allowing foreign missiles. China accuses the US of interfering in Asia's affairs and trying to contain its rise. Any new American bases or missiles near China's borders are seen as direct threats. Beijing's objections are about military strategy and regional influence. The missile deal could push the Philippines further into the US camp. China is unlikely to back down, continuing its own military buildup. The region is now caught in a cycle of action and reaction. The missile deployments fit into a larger US plan for the Indo-Pacific. Washington is countering China's influence and keeping sea lanes open. The US is building stronger ties with allies like Japan, Australia, and South Korea. The Philippines is a key part of this strategy. American officials want a free and open Indo-Pacific respecting international law. Missiles in the Philippines allow faster crisis response and more options to defend allies. The strategy isn't just military. Diplomacy, trade, and technology play roles too. But defense is central. The missiles are both shield and signal to China and the world. For the Philippines, this brings protection and support, but also greater involvement in great power competition. The risks and rewards are closely linked. Manila's choices now have global impact. The balance of power is shifting. Despite military ties with the US, the Philippines is deeply connected to China through trade. China is one of Manila's largest trading partners, fueling billions in commerce and investment. This makes Manila's balancing act even harder. Leaders don't want to lose valuable economic links, but can't ignore security threats. They keep channels open with Beijing while strengthening military ties with Washington. Rising prices or job losses could follow if relations with China worsen. Business groups urge dialogue, not just confrontation. For now, national security comes first. Manila is forced to choose sides more clearly than ever. Hosting more US missiles will shape the region for years to come, influencing the balance of power in Southeast Asia. Supporters say it makes the Philippines safer, strengthens its defenses, and keeps China's ambitions in check. Critics warn it could spark an arms race, increase tensions, and destabilize the region further. For the Philippines, it's about survival, national security, and protecting its people from external threats. Leaders believe a strong US alliance is the best defense against growing regional risks. But they must also manage vital economic ties with China and avoid a larger, more dangerous conflict. The hope is deterrence will prevent war, not provoke it or escalate tensions. Every move is watched closely by anxious neighbors and regional partners. The Philippines' path depends on wise leadership, careful diplomacy, and a clear vision for peace.